Now on Local 5, gun deer season has started and the DNR is planning a change for the future. Plus, a retired Air Force veteran's last wish is granted.
From WFRV TV, Green Bay, Fox Cities, and the Lakeshore, this is Local 5 Sunday morning.
Good morning, everyone, and thanks for joining us. I'm Donald Robinson. Well, the first day of the gun deer season is in the books, but as hunters carry on tradition, there is a big change on the horizon for the sport. Elaine Wells has details. A woman is dead and 2 others are hurt after a head-on crash in Grand Chute. Now, this happened around 12:45 yesterday afternoon on Northland Avenue near Mason Street. Investigators say a minivan crossed the center line and hit a pickup truck head-on. The woman driving the minivan died at the scene. A young boy who was in her vehicle suffered significant injuries. The man driving the pickup truck is okay. In other local news, an anonymous donor came forward and paid for a retired Air Force veteran to fly home on a private jet. This all happened after he became ill while on vacation in Arizona. Now, doctors feared that the vet didn't have long to live, and all he wanted to do was get home to Green Bay. President Obama took center stage at the annual UN General Assembly this morning. He addressed the gathering of more than 140 global leaders. His focus, the American-led airstrikes against ISIS. It's the second day of attacks. 2 days after winning a second term, Governor Walker is ready to get back to work. Walker kicked off his Working for Wisconsin tour today. He visited several technical colleges across the state, including one right here in Green Bay. He says strengthening our tech schools will lead to creating more jobs. The 2014 midterm elections saw a major shift in the U.S. Senate. For the first time during President Obama's time in office, the Republicans will control both the House and Senate. Although they don't agree on much, both sides have vowed to work together. But Wisconsin's political leaders say that it's clear the president's policies have failed. Using drugs could potentially lead to other abuse problems later in life. That's the message being shared at Lambeau Field tonight. This is all happening during a program called It Doesn't Start with Heroin. Law enforcement officials are talking to the community about how substance abuse is hurting our area. Still ahead, a woman kidnapped over the weekend has been found, and a high-profile musician is in hot water for his possible involvement with an attempted murder. Jen, it was the quick thinking of some neighbors that alerted residents to the fire. Otherwise, it may have been worse. The Kaukauna Fire Department worked to knock out hot spots after it took more than an hour to put out this early morning fire that left 8 people homeless.
I yelled for my husband. I heard crackling.
Ann Schaefer, her husband Ryan, and their 3 kids were in the first floor apartment when the fire started at about 5:30.
Put his hand on the window and it was really hot, so then he opened our door to the porch and black smoke just came in and we ran, got our kids and ran out.
Neighbors next door and across the street called 911 and banged on the apartment doors. This is cell phone video as the fire engulfed the front porch and the side stairs to the second floor unit.
The noise, it was just crackling, the windows were busting, the car windows next that are parked in the driveway that just shattered.
11 people total were inside the building at the time of the fire. All got out but one. Fire crews had to climb a ladder to save his life.
Fire crews went inside, found the patient on the bed unresponsive. He was removed by fire department personnel and taken to a local hospital.
Fire officials are not sure if the fire started on the inside or outside of the building. Several neighbors tell us that the residents in the upper apartment were having a bonfire that lasted into the early mornings. Fire officials pointed out this fire pit that's near the front porch.
Extended up, got into the eaves, into the attic space, and worked its way across the attic, at which time it burned through and collapsed the roof.
The Schaefer's cat Bailey was hiding in the fire. A firefighter found her under a table.
Yeah, we have everything we need, really.
Yep.
I mean,
Victims of the fire tell me there were no working smoke detectors in their apartments. The fire department would not confirm or deny those claims. They're continuing their investigation. Donald Robinson, Local 5 News. This is GoPro video of 23-year-old Christopher Stolte and his 22-year-old friend Chanel Bopel of Fond du Lac. They lost control of their sailboat on Lake Winnebago last month.
The winds got a little strong and ended up pulling the rudder out of my hand.
As the boat turned around, the wind caught the sail, and that ended up tipping the boat over. Within seconds, the used boat Christopher bought sunk.
Just went vertical in the water. After looking in the boat afterwards, there was no flotation in it where there should have been.
Oh no, Chris, you said this wouldn't happen.
Chanel made every effort not to get hit by the sail or caught up in the ropes. However, she had some comfort because of her life jacket.
Really glad we had life jackets on though.
Christopher was able to call the Fond du Lac Sheriff's Office using a cell phone he kept in a plastic pouch. What advice would you guys have for people who are boaters or interested in being boaters?
You know, I'd make sure you have all your required safety gear. It's, you know, going to be life vests for every person on board and wearing them.
Wear them, definitely.
You know, have some sort of communication device with you, whether it's a satellite phone, a radio, cell phone, something like that to be able to communicate if you do run into issues. Also, you know, if you're able to, you know, have flares or some sort of a dispersed flag that are available out there to have in your boat too.
In Fond du Lac, Donald Robinson, Local 5 News. Shelley, before practice started, it was like a block party outside Lambeau Field. The 14th annual Family Night at Lambeau Field lived up to its billing. Tens of thousands of people were on hand, many taking pictures of this magical event.
Having a great time. We've never been here before.
Jean Bader and her family are huge Packer fans.
We watch every game at home, have parties.
This is the first time many of the fans are seeing the new renovations at Lambeau Field.
A lot of this is new to me, and it's really cool, and I wanted to bring my daughter up and have a chance to see it.
Well, I've always wanted to be here at Lambeau.
More than 67,000 people were on hand for the event.
Like, cool because, like, everybody's here, and it's, like, because they all, like, love the Packers.
Well, not all. There were a few non-Packers fans in the crowd. However, some folks received free tickets to get in. Others paid about $10.
I didn't pay for it. Son paid for it.
We've been here for games, but it can be a little bit pricey, so this is a good economical way to get the kids out here.
It's awesome.
Tailgating is also important on a night like this.
Hamburgers, corn, chips and dip.
Oh, it's just fantastic.
While people waited around to see the action on the field, many took advantage of the new Lambeau Leap statue. Go Pack Go. Family Night broke a new record of 67,336 fans in the stands. Donald Robinson, Local 5 News, HD.